Hi, I'm Mia, and I really can't keep procrastinating like this. Yeah, I probably came up and sat down and did my brows like an hour ago, and I haven't really done anything since. And like, I don't want to do my makeup right now, kind of. Even though I'm ahead, but really need to. But I saw this, I'm like 90% sure, on Pinterest, and I kind of want to recreate it. So that's what we're doing today. But first, I'm going to start off with the Blend Bunny X May Pang Rhode palette. I really don't know if this is the best way to go about this, because some of these tones in the eyeshadow are just a little, not off, but like they're not what I want. They're not tones I have a whole lot of, so we're going to get creative. But I'm going to go in with a whole bunch of the shade Neo, which is like a pale peach, with the tiniest bit of Histo. Kind of do that so it kind of gets more into the brush, not just sit on top. And with a very light hand, we are going to start to do a little bit of this. Still very light. Just do it all about. And same eye. Who would have guessed? I know, wild. It is Tuesday, December 23rd. So, day before Christmas Eve. My brother didn't go to school today. It was supposed to be a half day, but he's like, there's no way. And my mother was fine with it, so I guess it's fine. But he's like, there's no way I'm going to school for a 7:50 start to get out at 11. He's like, it's just not happening. So I helped him with the rest of his gifts, and then we went to Target and Stop and Shop. Worst idea ever. Don't let us do that again. Like, we went because we had nothing better to do, and he's like, oh, he's like, I should try to get something, one more for our parents. And then I'm just going in with Neo on a small little fluffy brush to do the edges. But he's like, oh, I might get something. And I'm like, well, we can go. He ended up getting stuff so we can make him. He ended up making steak sandwiches. He found like sliced steak, specifically labeled sandwich steak. So did that. He got himself some snacks. I got an eyeliner and a yogurt drink. So all around, very exciting things that we bought. But I'm like, you people, I'm like, it is the day before Christmas Eve and you're only just now finishing Christmas shopping and stuff. Like, it was awful. But then I'm going to take a little bit of Histo with a little bit of Veil and the tiniest bit of Whisper. So I want to try to get a little more cool tone for that outer. That's not going very well, but we can always change it. We can change it. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's freaking fine. Ah! But definitely dust that off because I don't want too much, too fast, too much. But yeah, other than that, we didn't do a whole bunch of anything. Like I said, I've just been procrastinating a little. But I obviously want to stay ahead, and even though I am working tomorrow, it's always very slow, so I think I'm going to, before the second kid gets in, I'm going to do a bunch of I'm going to edit some videos, and then when he gets in, we're going to do a bunch of cleaning. And then this is just Whisper, because I want to try to, that is not the tone I want. I'm a liar and a fraud. So, I can fix this, I can fix this. Theoretically, maybe. It's looking very cool toned, but like, I want it like purpley, not cool toned. So this is just, nothing's going the way I want it to. And again, I can always take creative liberties and do what I want. However, may not be ending well. So I'm just gonna try to blend this out. This is the brush that had Neo on it, but I'm just using it to blend out and not make it too harsh. But I'm going to take the tiniest bit of Histo again, and I'm going to go in with the tiniest bit of Marrow to make it like a little more maroon purpley on the outer edges. Because again, I have a vision, obviously you saw said vision, but just sometimes it doesn't do what it needs to be done. So, c'est la vie. C'est la frickin' vie. And then I'm just going to take some concealer. It doesn't matter which one. She's not important, no offense. But I'm going to take some literally on the back of my hand or with a finger. And I'm going to start to kind of like do a little soft cut crease almost. Because I do want to have a little bit of a blank canvas to lay the lighter colors on. So I don't want it to be too like precise, you know? Because I really don't like the way that looks, and then it gets a little weird sometimes. But, and always, when in doubt, your fingers are always your best tool. Like when I do my regular makeup, I very rarely actually use brushes. Unless it's something or like important that I need a brush for, or I'm just don't want to have makeup on my fingers, because honestly most times I hate the feeling of it. And then with the Colourpop Matte About Hue palette, I'm gonna take, not with this brush, is this brush clean? Yes. With this brush I'm gonna take some of the shade Rhode, which is this gorgeous little lavender color, and I'm gonna start to press that right there, flick it out a little, but I'll use the colors in here, like colors, not the neutrals, opposed to the Blend Buddy palette, because there's like one mauve shade that I tried to use, but like that's the only kind of mauvey purple shade, so I don't want to get too, you know, off course. But I don't think it's happening at this rate, because I haven't gotten a text from anybody, and at this rate, if they go, hey, do you want to do this? I'll go, no, you took a week to get back to me about it. Next I'm going in with the shade Got Iced, and I'm gonna start to carefully press. But there's a new store opening up in Durham, New Hampshire. I looked, I can get there by Amtrak. But none of her employees are available. The employees that she hired aren't available until after the holidays. So district manager sent an email like, oh my god, does anyone want to come help? I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I can do it. So, you know, I texted the interim manager. She's like, you don't want to do that? I'm like, if it gets me away from this store, then yeah. I didn't say that to her, obviously, but I'm like, yeah, I'm able to get up there, so. She's like, oh. She's like, if we do schedules, I need to see, because coverage, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, in that case, I'm probably not going, because nobody in this stupid store knows how to open. And she got into it with me, because I was like, oh, I thought it was company policy, regardless of your availability, that you know how to do both open and closing shifts. Like mid-shifts, that doesn't count, because you don't do any paperwork. But she's like, we can't train people if it's on their availability. I'm like, okay, I don't have nighttime availability, and I know how to close. And like, she agreed with me for like 2 seconds. She's like, yeah. She's like, it is. I trained my employees how to open. She's like, I trained them whatever their availability isn't first, and then their regular availability. And then she's like, wait. And I said that, I'm like, these two people don't know how to open. She's like, well, they don't have availability. I'm like, I understand that, but like, I should at least be able to text more than one person if I need to call out. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going back into the round palette. And on a fluffy brush, I'm taking Damp and Spoil, and I'm going to put that in the inner corner, like the inner half. But I'm like, and then I was talking to the other kid that mainly opens, because it's just him and I that open. I'm like, you know, I open 4 days a week. He's like, if you drop dead tomorrow, he's like, I was like, if my mother was saying, she's like, if you drop dead tomorrow, the store's screwed. He's like, yeah. He's like, how do you think about it? Yeah. He's like, because, you know, you can usually cover my availability. I'm like, yeah, because she's been doing it the past few weeks without asking me. like, put me on the schedule wise, not blah blah blah. But we're like, and like when I explained it to him, he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm like then why can't she understand that? Like, I know she's a little stupid, but like, damn. And then I'm just gonna go back in with Colourpop and do a dye just to reinforce the purple. But it's Tuesday. I told them I'd be able to go up to New Hampshire on the 28th. Not be able to start helping. I could start the Monday after. But I'm like, at this rate, I don't think I'm gonna get any, which is fine. I'm like, that's on them. I told them, they didn't think. If I get a text either tonight or tomorrow, I'm just gonna be like, oh no, too late. Like, I have a nail appointment, and I do have a nail appointment, which is kind of why I needed her to answer me immediately so I could know if I had to reschedule it or not. But what does she know? Nothing. Nothing. And then, I know I'm going back and forth a lot, but it's just the 2 palettes. I'm going back into Rhode, and I'm going in with Oxygen. And I'm just going to pack that in the inner corner, just to brighten it up a little. Because I do, in fact, like having a brightened inner corner. Even if it's not shimmer, I like it. Who can stop me? No one. I'm a rogue agent. I live by my own terms. No, but still. And then I'm just going back in with the shades that I used above just to redo the bottom lash line, because I do like things to be cohesive. I know. Who could have foreseen this? I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the brushes that I already used so I don't dirty more of them. But again, just doing a little. I mean, I could put a little purple there and see what happens, but then I might mess it all up. And like, it's not what I had in mind, but I don't hate this right now. Like, it's not my favorite, but it could be worse. You know what? We ball. On a little brush, I'm going to take the lightest hint of Tada, and I'm going to dust a lot of that off. And just start to use that, like, kind of right there. See if that will do anything, because, like, again, I don't want to mess it up too much, but I do want that slightly more purple tone in there. That still doesn't give me anything. Go, girl, give us nothing. But again, I don't want it to get too much and then it gets messed up. Oh no. See? That's what I was talking about. And then this was the original brush I was using with the browns, so we're just gonna kind of do a little. And I'm gonna go in with the Danessa Myricks Beauty Lightwork Volume 6 Freedom Palette, so I can get that little color up there. This is the shade Dance. It's like a little champagne ballet pink almost. So, I feel like if I do a little, just right. Oh yeah, she looks nice. I wish this could be like on my cheeks. I don't think that would work, but like, I know it's covering a lot of the shadow. To be fair, I brought it up a little high, but like, I feel like it looks nice. Alright, I swear, this is the eyes. I can't mess it up anymore. I can't afford that time. But I'm gonna find some lashes and I will be back in a second. Alright, hi, hello, I'm back. I procrastinated, surprise, surprise. We are gonna hope and pray with this base because I've never used any of these products together. So, we don't love this for me. And I can't find my mirror. But I'm gonna start off with the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Thirst Burst Drops. Again, I'm not actively endorsing them, it's what I have on hand right now. So I'm gonna get a light layer of this down, because I'm gonna go in with something else relatively hydrating, kind of not oily, but like a balm oil almost. So I just don't want to put just that down, because last time I did it didn't look right, so I am prepping my skin for my skin prep. Also, I did change my pimple patch because it was pulling up gunk, and I still have pimple patch on because it's I'm gonna be honest, I know I'm not supposed to, I popped it last night. So, I've had a pimple patch on because it's been, not to be gross, but it's been, like, gushing. So, it wasn't my ideal situation. But I'm gonna let this dry down a little. But on the bright side about having to work tomorrow, we're open 11 to 6. So, as long as I don't want the kid that I'm with to be with me, but I also don't want to be alone and do all those dishes. So, it's a lose-lose situation. I'm gonna go in with this from Danessa Myricks. It's the Yummy Skin Moisture Repair Balm Serum. This was gifted to me via Skeepers, but it's not like it was Danessa herself, so. But I'm gonna do a little. Again, this isn't my favorite, but my skin's been really dry lately, and for some reason, even no matter how much hydrating product I put, not that I obviously want a dewy base all the time, but it has not looked dewy. My makeup hasn't looked like hydrated once in a while. So, again, this could ruin my base. Because, like I said, I've never used these. And also, something about this formula, it like grits up. Again, I'm sure that's just the wax or the oil like freezing because it's cold, and my Wet Wild Skin Tint does that actually. It's a little funny's not the right word, but it's kind of funny. But again, I'm definitely gonna let this dry down a little. I also dealt with some laundry today. I also really need to pee, but if I go downstairs, it's over for me. So, and I'm gonna go in with the LYS Beauty. I want to say this is the Triple Fix Serum Skin Tint Foundation Stick thing, but I'm gonna do a little. I've been putting this on the back of my hand and going in with a brush lately, so that could also be why it's looked matter than usual, but I already had makeup on me earlier, hand-wise, and I don't really want more of that. But I'm just gonna blend this in. See, this is the kind of finish that I've been wanting. So, shout out me. I mean, again, my entire thing could have been solved with the Danessa Myricks Balm beforehand. But like I said, it's not my favorite. Like, totally, completely, honestly, it's not my favorite for most things. I mean, my base looks fantastic right now, even if it's a little too dewy. But powders exist for a reason. Who would have thought? I don't know. But I definitely need to at least powder my pimple patch, because even though it was, Jesus Christ, I hate this stupid thing. Oh shit balls. I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh, because sometimes pimple patches look very shiny, they don't have a matte finish. This one does, but now that I've put a whole bunch of hydrating products on top of it, you can kind of see her, which isn't ideal, but that's on me. And I also want to go in with a more hydrated base, because I do want to go in with the About Face, the Illusionist Skin Focus Concealer again. This is F1 Neutral. So, again, the paddle of this is so interesting. I'm just going to do a little. Oh, so I went in at 7:15 last Thursday. I would like it to be known that I'm usually in at 9:15, and that's been a little too early lately, just with what I've been getting done. But we had $1,500 worth of pre-sales. So, I'm like, oh! And they were like off right before 2 o'clock, and I'm like, but I did see 2 bunnies on my way down the hill, like to the train station. Like, I saw one first, and I could have sworn I saw something else moving, but I'm like, you know what? I have my glasses like up on my head, so I'm like, I could be hallucinating things. You know. But then there's a second, and I went, oh my goodness. So early enough that I saw bunnies, and I was also there before any of these school crossing guards, so love that for me. And then I also saw 2 greyhounds in winter vests when I got into Boston, so I had to text my mother about that because they're like her favorite dogs ever. Regular size greyhounds, not Italian. I don't know if I said Italian, but they were normal big basin size greyhounds, and they were like her favorite dogs ever. So I'm like, oh my god. I also did sneak a little picture. I'm also just gonna bounce over my base with a sponge because that will sometimes take some of the shine away. So maybe I don't need to powder, mostly because I'm feeling lazy. Yeah, see, if you ever want to get rid of a little shine but you don't want to powder, obviously if you're doing your makeup just for fun and not longevity wise, just do a little bounce. Cause like I still look healthy and hydrated, but I don't look so oily as I did before. This is from Milani. This is the Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer in the shade Hey Honey. It's the lightest one. Surprise, surprise. Who could have foreseen this? I'm sorry, my wrist is all of a sudden really, really itchy. You know what's also really weird? Every Sunday night for the past like 3 Sundays, I've gotten a screaming, violent headache to the point that I thought I would throw up each and every time. And like, it's never like late at night, so I can't be like, oh my god, I'm just like really tired, blah blah blah. I've been relatively hydrated. It hasn't been that, but like every Sunday without fail at like 9:30, to the point that I'm like, I'm just gonna go to sleep stupid early. It's because Advil doesn't help with it, and I'm like, what is going on? Again, the last 2 before this past Sunday, I was like, you know what, weird. And that happened this Sunday. I'm like, alright, now we're pushing it a little, because what do you mean? I'm sorry, there's a brush hair on my chin, but like, it's just, it was so weird. Like, I don't think I'm dying that much, and again, I wasn't dehydrated. It wasn't great, so it wasn't like a light headache, because we didn't have any overhead lights in our house. Oh, I lied. The bedrooms do, and the kitchen and the bathroom does, but the living room doesn't. So we just have lamps, and it's kind of darkened because it's too bright with 2 lights, so it's a lose-lose situation. But it's not like it was like overly bright, so I had a headache that way. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, why does my body hate me so much? I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Huda Beauty Blush Filtered Liquid Blush in the shade Sunset Lychee. Just a little. I kind of want a base for what I'm about to go in with, which are just powders, so. Yeah, I know, I just said I wasn't powdering my face, and I'm still not. I'd rather, when I put powder blush over a liquid, it always looks fine, so. I'm not too concerned, but again, I just want a little something. So, ooh, apparently they are releasing a new pressed powder, and I really hope it's more like the original loose one, because the pressed powder that they had previously was garbage. Like, it was reflective. It didn't actually, like, obviously I used it over like wet makeup and then set makeup, because it was just supposed to be a brightening powder, I think. It didn't do anything, and I'm like, but there's a new one, and like I said, I'm really hoping it's a little more like the powder one, like the loose powder one, obviously, because it's a powder, but you know what I mean. But this is from Haus Labs. This is the Color Fuse blush in the shade Pomelo Peach, so I'm gonna go in with this, and I'm gonna put it a little more towards like the back, not the back of my cheek, but like, you know, right there. I've also had this, like, I don't know, I really don't know what's wrong with my body, because like, it hasn't happened for a day or 2, but now that I've said it out loud, I'm gonna jinx it. Something about my top lip, like right at my cupid's bow, has been like trembling and like twitching lately, and I have no idea what it is, and it always feels so weird, but like I have no clue what it could be, and I'm like it's never anything. Like, it will usually happen for like an hour or 2 at a time, and then go away for like 3 days. So again, now that I've said it, it's gonna start again, but I don't know. I don't know what's been going on. It's been so weird. Then, this is from the Ulta Beauty collection. This is the Flushed Blush Powdered Blush in the shade Cotton Candy. This was described as like a baby pink. This is like barely pink. That's fine. I like this anyways. So, I'm kind of gonna go ham. Because, again, it's not that pigmented, so it's fine. So, I'm just gonna do a little... Again, I just want kind of like soft vibes for the blush. Also, I went to Old Navy to return something. And I'm pretty sure there's a masked lesbian hidden on me. And you know what? I clocked it from the moment I saw her because she had an undercut, but her hair was shaved up, pulled up into a bun. And she was also wearing a rugby polo, and I went, I know what you are. But you know, she literally wasn't anywhere when I was returning my stuff, and then she just materialized behind the counter and like started talking to me, and I'm like, but I panicked because it was after work and I panicked. So, alas. And I don't know how well it's gonna work because this is a little pink, but I'm gonna go in with the Kaleidos Space Age highlighter in the shade Star Surfer. Again, it's a little pink, but it's also like mostly champagne, so hopefully it should be fine. But figure kind of tie in with what's on my brow bone. Ooh, my brother did quit wrestling. Thank God. He said it's because of his knee and the weight of it. Sorry, I'm looking at my highlighter. I think he just realized that not that he sucks, but he's played maybe 3 games, and comps, and he's lost every single one. So I'm hoping it's a mix of that and that he realized how tiring it is. But he told me first. So then I said something to my mother, and she's like, oh, thank God. Because she hated him doing wrestling. Not even because of the violence, but just like the total eating disorder part of it all. So she was thrilled. Thrilled, I tell you. But for lips, I'm gonna go in with the Rhode Peptide Lip Shape. Sorry, there's like a brush hair on my nose. And this is the shade Twist, which I think was described as like... I don't... Jesus Christ. I don't want to say neutral taupe, but it was definitely... Is this the color that I wanted? Yeah. I have 2, and not that they're very similarly toned, but in the compartment they look close enough that I can't really tell. And I always forget. So we're just gonna do a little, start to work that into overlining. The Cupid's bow a little, and I didn't kiss off enough lip balm, and you're gonna, it's so funny. So we went to the gas station after, because my brother is a teenager, so he'll buy all of his snacks there. And these 2 high schoolers gave me the nastiest fucking look when we went in. And we were in there for like 10 minutes because he was taking his time deciding. So, you know, and they're still hanging around. When we get out. Sorry. And my brother's like, oh, they're probably waiting to try to get someone to buy them, like, nicotine products. And I went, oh. I'm like, not that I would have anyways, because I'm not stupid enough to buy things for underage kids. But I'm like, joke's on them. I'm of age. I can buy anything I want in 7-Eleven. Again, I wouldn't do that. But, like, they weren't smoking anything, they weren't drinking anything, they weren't eating anything. It barely even looked like they had anything in their hands when they left anyways. So there's no reason for them to have been hanging around anyways. So I'm like, huh. I'm like, again, wouldn't have done it. Not stupid. But this is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Ultra Suede lipstick in the shade Sam. It's like a little kind of peachy pink nude figure. Keep it very similar vibes. And I don't think there's gonna be any lip gloss. I know. But again, that's just because my lips are so moisturized already. It's kind of pointless. But this is gonna be it. I'm gonna try to fix my bangs and I should be back in a second. Alright, and this is the finished look. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, originally, like when I was just done with the eyes, I'm like, oh my god, I actually really like that, how this looks. Blah, 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 blah. And now something just looks wrong. And I don't know if it's just my bangs. Because, like, again, cohesiveness, fantastic. 10 out of 10. This lip and this cheek match very well. And again, I did like the eyes until, like, 3 seconds ago when my bangs were down. But there's something, just the winter air is just not vibing with my hair. And it's been so staticky and just unruly that it's a little bit rude. And yeah. But again, just something about the eyes aren't working right now. And I don't know. Again, until I put my bangs down, I was liking how it looked. But sometimes that's just how the way it goes is. But yeah.